Live stream.
Does it say live stream?
It says live stream.
Okay,
it did on mine.
It's recording. That's really
live
weird.
Hi everyone, live.
Coming to you live.
Hello and a second hello. It's Teresa and Sarah coming to you from I'm in America now. Woo, woo.
Hallelujah.
How good is that for our time difference?
It's
much
the
better.
best. Honestly, it's the best, especially when you're in LA
better.
because then I'm like, can we just like record at a decent normal hour? It's not like an insane time for you and like pickup time for me.
I know. It's so,
crazy.
although today is like pickup time for you.
It is, but it's okay. Eric's doing it today.
Oh, the perks of having the kids round the corner from your house. That is actually a dream to have a school that close.
I know.
That's a game changer. Our school is so far away. Not as far as how far you had to drive. to the old school. I told Mark
2 hours.
how long you had to drive.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, then they don't go to school.
Yeah.
He was like,
a nightmare.
Goodbye. No school. I was like, yeah, that's
By
so
the way,
nuts.
I just found out from someone. So Eric just went down to LA the other day and he was taking the PCH route to go down because we have a pass because our house was right there in the Palisades, right? So we have this pass.
So people can't go on it.
People can't go on it unless you have a pass. But for some reason, and I don't know if they gave out more passes, I don't know if there's like something else going on or what's happening. So the speed limit's only 25 miles per hour now, where it was 45 before because it's highway, right?
Yes.
So it's 25. It's one lane the whole entire way. And typically now it would take you like 45 minutes to get down the PCH to get to Santa Monica, maybe an hour. And Eric just went into town the other day and he had to go that route because he was going to Santa Monica. And he was like, it took me 2 hours, like 2 hours. It took him an hour to even get to the checkpoint, which is in Malibu. So he was coming from the north and then it took an hour just to get to the checkpoint. And I was like, this is crazy. So if we had stayed, we kept having this feeling like we needed to leave because it was just so hard to get to where we needed to be. And if we had stayed, we would still be driving 2 hours to get to school.
The universe took care of you.
Oh,
it was like, here's this house in this beautiful part. It's time.
Right?
It is time.
Sorry, guys. I'm having a hot flash. If you're watching on YouTube, this is crazy.
Do you get like a lot of under tit sweat? Is that what's happening? Because you're really fanning the boobs.
I know, I am, but I'm just trying to. Some guy's looking in the window.
He's probably like,
He's like, what is she doing in there?
Yeah.
He'll probably show up
fan
behind
that
me.
Gross. It's like your weird kink. Don't kink shame me.
Yeah, don't kink shame me. I'm fanning my boobies. Yes, I get under the boob sweat, but it's the main thing is that occasionally I just get really hot. I get really hot. I think I'm just at that point where I've gotten to the level of blubber and that what's the it's like, what is it on a whale or like a sea lion? It's blubber, right?
That might be my favorite word that's ever come out of your mouth.
I've gotten to the blubber level of pregnancy where it's trying to keep all the heat in. I'm too hot.
Oh my God. It's so funny. We were just talking before and I was like, I'm sorry, but I feel like a full fatty. Guys, I know I'm not meant to say that, but I do. My kids are so obsessed with my bum now. They're like, you have the biggest bum, Mum. Your bum is massive. Brody was grabbing my bum and he was like, look how chunky this is. And I was like, cool. All right. Thank you so much. I'm growing another human being.
Right.
And then Mark, like we were having a little shebang, and he was like,
loving it.
Butt has never been this big.
You're like,
and I was like, I have half my pregnancy to go. So can you stop? And then I'm catching myself in reflections and being like, cool, just a, pregnant mum. That's fantastic.
okay, if you still have to go.
Less than half now. But I look at you and I'm like, oh, she's so sexy and gorgeous and look at her curves. And then I think about every other pregnant woman like that. And then myself, I'm like, why do I look kind of frumpy and just like a sad sack? Oh, but I love my belly. It's just everything. It's just hard because even I was just walking around New York. We're in New York at the moment for Phoebe's wedding. And I was like, guys, I'm really tired. We've been walking for about 30 minutes. I'm like, Mama needs to sit on a park bench.
Yeah.
They're like, Mark's like, are you okay? I'm like, yes. I am so tired. I'm sweaty. I'm jet lagged. I feel pregnant.
Jet lag. I mean, you're coming from Australia.
Yeah, we slept until 12 p.m. today.
Where did we go? We went somewhere and I had the craziest jet lag.
Yes,
Switzerland. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
For days, I couldn't get through it. I was so...
You were really newly pregnant.
I was early pregnant last summer. By the time this baby comes, I'll have been pregnant for a whole year.
Oh, my God. Oh, so was it with the baby prior to this?
It was the baby prior.
Oh, I forgot when you went there. God, that looks like
I went there in June, and it's...
Someone's renovating a house in the background.
It's a blower. It's a blower. It literally, it's a guy with a blower outside right at this moment.
That always happens to me.
The moment that we're on the pod, this is just the best.
It's like maybe it was a guy spying on you.
Yeah, it was.
Before. Now I was like, he's really going for it.
Like, great, okay. Or maybe it's a dog wash. I don't know. Eric was like, we had to get this dog. The dog is like shedding like crazy. It's like the white fur is just flying everywhere. Yeah. It looks like it's snowing all the time. I'm like, we got to get this dog. Like, it's not working. What we're doing is not working. We need someone to like come in. We need professionals. We need something.
Give it like a number 2 buzz cut.
So, I'm sitting at Eric's office right now, and look at the picture that has been printed out. And I don't even know why or what it. Do you see?
What the hell? That's your barn.
That's you and your baby.
That's me?
That's you and your baby.
Oh my God,
at our barn.
Look at that. Poet.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I see that. So random.
I'm like, what did he print this out for? This must be like
a barn shape.
I don't know. I'm like, this is like some sort of inspo. I'm like, is he manifesting?
Is he manifesting a barn? A barn in Santa Monica?
A baby?
Wait, not Santa Monica, Santa Barbara. Sorry, Santa Monica.
No, a barn in Idaho. That's what.
Oh, wait, but isn't that your barn already?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know why he printed it. It's so pretty.
That's been ticked off the manifest list.
Off the manifesting list. There's got to be a reason. Maybe he was showing it to sending.
Oh my God! By the way, how good were our manifesting twins?
Oh my gosh! So wild. I loved the dating stuff was so different than the partnership stuff. So different.
So different.
Like if you're looking for love, like the whole situation that they've come up with is like a whole different process.
I think it's so interesting.
It's fascinating.
I saw them at a party the other day, and it's so hard to just like, hey, how are you guys? What's been going on? I just want to go deep so quick. I'm like, anyway, let's talk about everything manifesting. Like I can't just have a normal conversation with them. I want to be like, hey, so there's this thing going on in my life where, but anyway, they were really great. People really liked that episode. It was really good.
Can you see my very broken nails? No, my nails are so broken. But if you can see on YouTube, you guys, Winter painted my nails yesterday.
It's like shimmer and
it's
shine
like a
color.
Shimmery unicorn color. Yeah, no, I've like bitten them all off. She was sick for a few days. Had like a crazy fever.
That's right. You were all sick.
Did you get sick? I didn't. I thought I was getting sick. I didn't feel great. Blower guys just walking by right now.
You're like back and forth over and over, like
just right in front of the office door.
Do this leaf over here, right by you, so I can look through the window.
It used to happen all the time when Winter was a baby and she was asleep. And then as soon as she would fall asleep, the person with the blower would show up and just start, going crazy in the neighborhood.
That happened to me at ADR the other day. They had to cancel it. I turn up and they're like, so sorry, there's tree cutting going on. Like, we're out. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Cool. So I had to leave. Yeah.
You're like, thanks so much for telling me.
I was like, cool.
I had an ADR one time in Hawaii. I was shooting this pilot, and then right after we shot it, we went on vacation in Hawaii, and I ate an all-you-can-eat buffet. And
that doesn't sound like you.
Food poisoning from this hotel. It was like a Sunday brunch. I ate like raw fish off the buffet. Bad decision.
Terrible.
Yeah. I got crazy food poisoning. I was so sick, and I had to go to ADR the next day. And I was running in and out of the ADR booth. My ADR session was like 5 hours long. I was running in and out, throwing up the whole time. It was crazy. I would be like, oh, hold on, I'll be right back. And then I would run outside, throw up, come back in, and I'd be like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I'd like keep going.
It's really similar to me in that we just won't take the day off work.
No. I was like, I want to get this done. I might as well do it while I feel like absolute garbage.
Oh my God.
Then I can like enjoy the last 2 days of my vacation if I feel better. And yeah, do
you know that a lot of people don't know that you have the process of ADR when you film a movie or a TV show or even a TV commercial? You oftentimes will go back into a sound booth like what Sarah and I are doing, and you have to look at yourself on screen
and dub over your lines
and literally dub your own self. And sometimes it's because there was like a crackle on the mic, or there was an outside noise or an airplane or whatever, and they can't clean the audio up.
Yeah.
So you've got to come in. And I have had to ADR some of the most insane scenes. Like I had to ADR my very first movie, a rape scene where I was getting raped by my brother, my character's brother.
Oh.
And I had to do a 10-minute like rape scene.
What movie
ADR.
was this? What movie was this?
237. It was my very first movie. And so I feel like nothing has ever been as bad as that. That I quite enjoy ADR now. And you do have the opportunity. If you hear something where you're like,
ooh, didn't love that.
Why did I make that choice on the day? Why did I go so high pitched with the voice?
Didn't love that. Yeah.
People, anyone who watched A Discovery of Witches don't know this, but the first season of A Discovery of Witches, I watched it and then I decided that I thought Diana Bishop should have a bit of a lower register in the voice. I ADR'd almost every single scene in the first season. Yeah.
That can't be cheap.
Yeah. And also I had my dialect coach go through and watch the whole first season, and then she gave me notes because they didn't pay for a dialect coach on set. So she watched the entire first season and then gave me notes, and then I went back and I ADR'd the lines, and that was kind of the process. I know, which again probably wasn't, financially exciting for the team.
I mean, that sounds pricey. It sounds really expensive.
I know, but I quite like ADR because then sometimes I'm going to do a bit more of a gravelly voice in this delivery.
There's a scene in American Made where Tom and I are in an airplane and we're getting this on. Is where
the shagging happens.
The shagging happens. And there's like this buildup where I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I did that.
That's great.
Those noises did not happen in the airplane. I didn't do anything. I was silent. I did nothing. I literally was just like, It was all about like, because we were on this gimbal or whatever. Yeah. And so it was really stressful. And you were trying
not to throw up because I remember you were sick the day before.
It was stressful because we were like tethered and all that stuff. But anyway, so I didn't make any noises. I was basically just like concentrating on like making my face look like I was having a euphoric moment. And as I'm being spun around and not throwing up. So anyway, so when I watched it at ADR, I was like giggling because I was like, there's no sound at all.
No.
But I was 9 months pregnant with
when you had to
Esme, when I ADR'd those noises over that scene. Yeah, I was so embarrassing. Oh my God. I was dying. I literally looked like this big. I mean, I think even bigger because I was bigger with Esme, but
wow.
But yeah, I was like in the booth just like, and I was like, oh my God. So amazing.
It is so awkward.
Yeah.
I just watched the last anniversary. Shout out to anyone watching it right now, currently on binge and something else. Where's AMC? AMC in America. I was like, what's the other channel?
Binge and what's that other thing?
Anyway, I didn't know this because I'm watching it with my kids, by the way. Well, I did know this, but I didn't remember what episode this was in.
I love that you're like, I didn't know this. I am the lead character and I did shoot the show, but I didn't know this.
I know, but because I did 15 shows back to back, I literally went boom, 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 boom. I kind of forgot some of the things that I had shot. But then, so I'm watching it with the kids and the boys are like, Forrest and Bodhi are so into this show. They are obsessed with it. They're like, we think this is a mystery. This is what our take is. Like, blah, blah, blah. Mom, that guy that you went on a date with was such a loser. Like, he was such a mean guy. Like, why would you even entertain that? And so they were really invested in the show. Cut to, by the way, I'm watching with my mum and my sons and my husband. We get to episode 4 and, where it's quite funny and I meet this new guy and whatever. Anyway, cut to me getting fucked so hardcore. No. This guy's ass, like, boom, 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 like smashing into me and me being like this. And I was like, it popped onto screen and I just screamed because I was with my mum and my sons and I was like, I pause it and then I'm like, run! And then they're like, what is that? I was like, just go. And then Bodhi was like, where? And I was like, I don't know, upstairs. And
go away. Oh
I had
to
then put it on mute. And then it was just me and Mark and my mum watching me get fucked on mute. And then I was like, Mum, you leave too. Go. This is so embarrassing. And then I'm texting the director.
Say? Mark dying?
Mark was dying? Like, oh my God. Yeah. And he was like, it's okay, guys. It's just, there's just a scene, an intimate scene.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Muted it and finally was like, okay, you can come back. But then my friend Chrissy told me that her and her family were watching it as well. But she didn't fast forward through that bit. And now the running joke at the house is her kids like jump on pillows and be like, I'm Teresa.
No. It's not a kids show.
Well, it's actually all fine apart from the sex scene.
That part. Which episode is that?
Episode 4.
Okay.
Episode 4. I literally have sex like 4 times during that episode, but I had forgotten my character's looking for love and all this stuff. And then suddenly she gets a lot of love in one episode.
Oh my God.
And it just took me off. Like I literally was taken by surprise and screamed at the top of my lungs like, pause, get out. But then the boys were really curious. They were just kind of like, so what do you have to do in those scenes? Like, do you actually? And I was like, no, you don't. And a lot of people also don't know this. I was explaining this to someone recently that back in the day, before we had intimacy coordinators,
oh my God, do you see
there's
the blower guy
in the
behind
background. He's literally showing us his ass. Hello, bottom.
I can't.
Oh my God, he's really going for it in the background. Wow.
That's really funny. Oh my
God. He's like, woo, I need to be around
really
this
right
woman.
behind my head, right?
This hot, pretty, pregnant woman. It's like, buddy, you've blown those leaves already like 10 times, okay? We got it.
I'm like, okay.
He keeps wanting to come and have a little peeky poo.
It's really funny. I'm like, I love that he even cares to go back there because like he's committed. Like behind the garage. I don't know, whatever. It's hilarious.
He's committed.
Really
yeah.
very,
so
very committed.
What a lot of people don't know is prior to having intimacy coordinators, you would have these simulated sex scenes, but quite often like a man would wear the sock, which is like a thing, like a patch over down there.
Oh.
And then this is before intimacy coordinators, which
I never had a scene like this. So
you've never had a sex? Oh, well, Tom.
No.
Was Tom your first?
We were fully clothed.
Yeah. Yes.
In all the scenes, we were fully clothed. Like
So they just have sex with clothes on?
Well,
your
like
characters?
Yeah, they're like hooking up quickly with like a dress and a pant pull down. But not
you have skin there. It's not like wearing pants.
Well, no, because you're not seeing anything. So what you're seeing is like our faces. If you rewatch it, you'll notice that you never see other parts of us.
Waist down.
Yeah, like I think there's even like a place in the kitchen where I'm sitting. Maybe, I don't know if this part was done or not, but I'm wearing a dress. I'm like sitting on him and we're like in the kitchen.
And you have bike shorts on underneath or something.
Yeah. Like I've literally never had a scene where a guy was wearing the sock or like anything like that.
Right. Okay. So usually in sex scenes, like so many of the movies, so many of the intimacy scenes, like the characters are naked. They're not, they're having, like meant to look like real sex. They're not clothed.
This was my doing though, because I was like, I'm not getting naked. Sorry. It's not happening.
Yeah. But I'm not even talking about nudity. I'm talking about like bare skin, right? Like a guy shirtless and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And sometimes guys show their asses, and I've been in lots of scenes where guys have shown their ass. So the way that they show their bum is they wear a thing at the front, because people are very curious, like, do you ever feel their thing?
Yeah.
And you don't ever feel it. But now that we have intimacy coordinators, there's even another whole level that didn't exist before.
What are they wearing now?
You put a foam, it's a big foam pad, like a big thick foam pad, or a Pilates exercise ball that's been deflated, half of the air's been taken out. So the ball goes into their pants and you bounce against a ball. So you're not feeling people's body parts, like no legs, no anything. But that's not the way it used to be done before intimacy coordinators. And a lot of these old school actors don't love the intimacy coordinators because they come in and they like have a full choreography and stuff like that. And it's, been born out of this whole Me Too movement and just making sure everyone feels really comfortable in a sex scene, and it's a simulation and you don't need to feel anybody's parts. And you say like, this is a green zone, this is a red zone for me, this is a, whatever.
Yeah.
You can stroke my arm, but you can't touch my boob. Or you can touch the small of my back, but you can't touch my ass. And so you go through and it's very technical. And then you have it contractually. And it never used to be like this. Like
written out.
I've been in the film industry since I was 18, right? This only changed maybe 10 years ago. And now it's like, you have got to sign a contract that says Teresa agrees to, these are the green areas listed. These are the red areas. And I don't do nudity anymore. I used to, if it meant that the character was supposed to be naked, then I would when I was younger. And it really, like Berlin syndrome, by the way, I was butt naked. And also it really needed to be that way because of the character and because of the story and the filmmaker and all those things. Anyway, nowadays I don't do nudity, but it's so everything is so specifically laid out.
Wow.
Like I had a contract where I signed one where it was like, actor promises when kissing to only use lips and there will be no usage of tongue.
That's good.
Like that.
I actually appreciate that because I did a show once when I was like, was I 19? I was playing like 15. And this guy who was like much older was in the scene, was supposed to like, I was supposed to like grab him and just like kiss him in the hallway and like then keep running down the hallway. I was like, don't remember what the scene was. It was something about like a rebellious teenager and she just like grabs this random bellhop at a hotel, you know, and like in front of her parents or something. And the guy put his tongue in my mouth that moment. He literally shoved it into my mouth. And I was like, oh. And after I went to the AD and I was like, can you guys tell him not to put his tongue in it? This is like a super fast kiss. And he like literally shoved his tongue into my mouth in that moment. And I was like, that is gross. Like I didn't even have a scene with him. I just was grabbing him to kiss him and then running away. He was like probably taking advantage. Here's this moment to like I feel like that has happened so much over the years, which is why we have intimacy coordinators. Totally.
But I have had similar experiences like that. But back in the day when I was young and single, I was kind of into it. I was like, cool. I'm like making out with all these hot like co-stars. Like, this is great, you know.
You're hilarious.
And it's different now, obviously. Well, but it is such an awkward part of the industry. It's so funny. You've never, in your whole career, you've never had a sex scene until you and Tom. That is so.
I don't think so. I don't know that
But you've done comedy, I guess. Not like.
I did a lot of comedy.
A lot of, yeah.
I had like scenes where I was like making out with someone or like starting to get hot and heavy. But like my scenes with Tom, I had like a whole montage of like love scenes. We were married and we were like hitting like this hot point in our relationship where we were just like so into each other and then getting pregnant a lot. She was like having a lot of babies. And so it was like a time lapse, right? In the movie where they were just like hooking up and money was coming in and it was just like all this, you know,
it was so fun. It was People should watch this movie.
So none of it was actual like
awkward,
super awkward, like intimate. It was more funny. Like one of my favorite moments of any of that was this moment where we were supposed to be like having sex inside of this old car in the back seat, and we never even touched because the camera was outside of the garage and the car was inside, and Tom's pants were supposed to be around his ankles. Of course, he's wearing shorts inside the car. But his legs are sticking out of the car. So you see his pants at his ankles. You see my legs. You see one of my legs up in the air in the car and the other one out. But I'm wearing full clothes inside because you can't see our bodies.
Yeah, you can't.
And
you
he's
just see
sort
limbs.
of like on hands and knees kind of like over me because we had to have the strength for the two of us to shake the car ourselves.
I remember this.
You remember that?
You told
and so
me this.
We were like giggling, like cracking up and like shaking the car, but not actually doing anything. We were kissing, we were touching, like we were just shaking the car, and we thought it was just so hysterical.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that it wasn't like, you know, like that.
You haven't had to have that experience. Yeah.
No.
So
I don't think so, unless I'm forgetting. But I don't remember.
I think I've done so many like
I don't remember
dramas and like love interest roles that it comes so much of my young 20s, like almost every movie, it was like the girl meets the guy and they fall in love and they have sex and they, you know.
Well, I had like a movie with Patrick Dempsey where I just was like a girl and we had just hooked up. Yeah, McDreamy. We had just hooked up. So I was like in bed with him afterwards and then he kissed me post. So we had no like love scene there. So I'm remembering that. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I didn't realize that people didn't know how that's done.
About that. Yeah.
I had a friend just like a week ago who saw the show and she was like, so how do they actually, like, you don't actually, I was like, oh my God, no, we're not making a porno. Like, that's not.
You obviously made it look very real. If anybody's seen The Last Kiss, Eric has some pretty good moments in that movie.
Yeah, Mark has had some really good bangers, like back in the day, where I'm full ass. It's hard for the dude sometimes because sometimes the woman is portrayed on top, but oftentimes it's like a male actor with a bare bum, pumpity away.
Yes,
and I'm always like, that is so awkward and embarrassing for them.
So embarrassing. I know.
I know. At the moment where they're like,
imagine.
oh, they have to do the thing. And now having a big pad,
foam pad
is just, it makes it even funnier.
Did I tell you that I got fired from a job because of, which if there had been an intimacy coordinator back then, and if there had been like, that kind, it was a long time ago. I can't tell you who the actor was or the show because it'll
come back.
It would be like a big thing. Yeah. But I was hired for this job. I was supposed to, we were supposed to like meet, and I'm not even going to say because it's a famous show and the scene happened, but not with me in it. And we were supposed to meet at this like place and then we were supposed to go and hook up and have this like scene. But it was like such a cool character because she was different than some of the other girls that had sort of come in through the show. And it was a lot of them like connecting on a soulful level. I mean, if he could even do that. And so the person that I was opposite of, we shot the first day. It was like one scene, which was great. Everyone was so excited about it, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I really want to work on this stuff for tomorrow. And I was like, great, let's do it, And then he came on to me.
No.
Mm-hmm. He like went to grab me and pulled me forward like he was going to try to kiss me. And I was like, whoa, what scene are you wanting to work on, for tomorrow? And he's like, the scene. And I'm like, the love scene? I was like,
we don't need to work on that.
You know what? I think I'm going to go. I'll see you tomorrow. I was like, we can do this like in the actual space with everybody there. And I left. I called my manager and I was like, I had the weirdest moment just now.
Wow.
I was like, I know I made the actor uncomfortable. But I was like, no, this is not okay. And this is really weird.
This
and
is one of those people taking advantage.
Totally taking advantage. Had there been all of those other things in play, this never would have happened.
That's exactly right. I mean,
I got fired that night. I got fired. I got called.
This is your Me Too story.
I got called that night and I got fired. And I was I was so young. It was like probably 20 years old, 21. I don't know, 20. Anyway, I had already told my manager about it. So when he called me, he was like, so your instinct is right. They're letting you go. But the producers and the director want to call you personally. And I was like, oh my God, okay. They called me and like apologized all over themselves. Like, we're so sorry. You're so amazing. Like blah, blah, blah. And it's just, we're for the scene, we have to go a different way. And I was like, you know what? It's all good. Don't worry about it.
You know what? Dodged a bullet.
But also I just was like, yeah, I'm okay with that. If I get fired,
if his behavior is going to be like that, it will only get worse. And people used to be able to get away with this shit back in the day. And it was like, if you are a man in power in this industry and you are making a studio millions and millions of dollars, they don't care about anyone else's experience around them. They just want to protect that asset, that commodity.
Yeah.
And that's why, thank God, this movement happened and people started sharing their stories. I mean, obviously you know my story, and you know some of the people involved in my story back in 2006, and I've talked about that a fair bit, where I also got fired from a job And that was a like cascade of so many horrendous things, including isolating me, sending people that I love away from me so that they could get me on my own, and then trying to coerce me into hooking up with my co-star for chemistry.
That's insane.
And I even got drugged. Like there was fucked up shit that happened to me on that movie.
Oh.
And then I was just dying to get out of the experience. And like you, when I got fired, it was actually such sweet relief.
Yeah.
And then I was quite happy that the movie didn't do what they wanted the movie to do money-wise. It was like,
yeah.
I mean, that was just like such a negative experience for me. And also made me leave the industry because after that, I was like, fuck this.
You're like, I don't want to do this.
I am a 20 and I was the same age as you.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old.
Yeah, I was like 20
I'm
as well.
the young, impressionable person. And it's so hard to have a thick skin as it is in this industry. Yeah. And then to have that experience, I was like, oh, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. This is awful. I'm not going to sell out in a way where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to, even if I feel uncomfortable, I'm just going to go with it. Like that was just never going to be my MO. And same with you. It is wild. I was talking to Mark the other day about like how far the industry's come, and then we randomly started talking about like people taking advantage or like not getting the right messages from you. And do you remember, he was like, I can't believe you haven't told this story in the podcast. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot that this even happened to us. It happened to both Mark and I.
What was it?
I don't know if you remember this story. I think you do. We were at the Green School in Bali, Indonesia. And we were there and we met some of our best friends for life there, the Clark family, who I do love well with now. But that's not the only family we met.
Oh my God.
We met this family who were really welcoming to us. And our kid, Bodhi, was in maybe the year below or a couple of years below their daughter. And the guy was a bit older. He was probably in his later 50s.
Okay.
And, you know, this is like 8 years ago. So I was like early 30s. Forrest was a new little one.
Oh my God. Is this a swinger story?
Get out. Really? Yep. So this guy, I swear to God, I told you this story.
I don't remember.
This guy who was like really sweet and talking to me, and he was like older, like a fair bit older. And I was pregnant with Poet.
No.
And so someone was like, oh, you've got to meet the doctor. He was a doctor. You got to meet the doctor.
He was a doctor?
He was a doctor. You got to meet the doctor here, because I was like nervous about my scans in Indonesia at the time. And, you know, my husband was worried about Zika virus and whatever. And they're like,
I remember
let us just connect you with this doctor. You know, he's one of the parents. And, you know, they're on, I don't think they were on the board, but they were quite involved in the school community. And him and his wife, he was like maybe late 50s. And she was maybe 50. And they had this really, really young kid, like a 6 or 7 year old kid or whatever.
Okay.
And they were like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. Welcome to the Green School. Like, you know, we have these things like once a month on a Sunday at our house. And you guys should come to that. And like,
anyway, is the upside down pineapple?
This is so nuts, because we were all staying in this same village called the Green Village.
Oh my God.
And they had this like treehouse place, and we were staying in a treehouse, and they're like, oh my God, we're in the same area. Like, we're only 8 tree houses down from you.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, Mark, we're getting invited over. Like, we're going to make friends. And like, they're so sweet. And he's the local doctor, and he's going to be really helpful in my pregnancy and stuff like that. And Mark's like, great, let's go over for a barbecue. So we bring the kids and we go to this like beautiful home. They've obviously like done very well for themselves.
Okay.
Their tree house is like really designed like in the most incredible way. And there's a huge pool outside. And he was like, oh, come in. Welcome to our home. Let us take you on the tour. And there was a few kind of like rubs on the back and stuff. And I was like, oh, they're just so friendly. And then we're walking around and he was like, and this is this area. And this is our new bath that we got imported from India. And, you know, this has got the elephant of blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, so impressed, like showing us every nook and cranny of the house. Then he's like, and this, oh, should I? Okay, all right, I'll show you this. I'm going to show you our office. And then Mark and I kind of looking at each other, starting to be like, these people are a little weird, but, you know, nice enough and being very friendly. We're a new family. So we go into this office of his and the wife is kind of lingering behind us or whatever. And she was like, oh, don't mind the pictures on the wall. And it was like a shrine to his wife. There was probably 80 pictures in this office.
80?
Like 80 framed photos on the wall of her naked.
No.
Butt naked, like sprawled over the back of a zebra, like with her tits out and like with an elephant, like holding the elephant's trunk, but butt naked. She's just naked in all these photos. And I start getting the internal giggles and I was squeezing Mark's hand like, oh my God, this is so awkward. And he was like, oh, this is a little gallery I have here of whatever this woman's name was, can't remember. Oh, and then this was her when we were on the safari in Kenya.
He's talking about the pictures
and this is about that. And really showing, and full bush, full tits, like literally sprawled over the top of these animals. And I'm like, this is so weird. And so we start walking down, and they're like, "Would you guys like a drink?"
Oh God!
And Mark and I were like, "Oh, that's okay. I'm pregnant." Well, I'm a doctor, and you know what they say about alcohol? It's okay to have one every now and then. Would you just like one drink? And I was like, oh, I'm okay. And then Mark, I'm looking at Mark like the signal of like, this is starting to feel weird. And he's giving me the signal back. And then we kind of get roped into these conversations, and then he kind of peels off to start talking to me on the couch. And he's kind of got his arm up on the couch sort of near me. And I was like, and then I see the wife over talking to Mark and like lots of laughing and touching his arm and stuff. And I still haven't clocked at this time what this is about. And then he was like, children, go with Jessica or whatever the name of the girl was, who was a little bit older. Go and like swim in the pool together. And I was like, oh, my Forrest is not even 2, so he can't swim. So I was like,
stay near me.
I'm going to keep him with me.
Yeah.
And then the others were swimming in this pool, like Bodhi and this girl were kind of told to go away and swim. And then he was like, why don't we all go into the jacuzzi together? Like, let's go into the jacuzzi. And I was like, oh, and I'm such a people pleaser, like nice person, that I was like, okay, cool. We can probably go in the spa. And so Mark and I sat on the as far away from them in the spa as possible. And I had Forrest with me, and he was leaning out, and then the woman kind of slides over next to Mark and starts really talking to him, like really looking at him in the eyes, and was like, so tell me more about that experience when you're a child. And
oh my God.
Really trying to connect. And I was like, just trying to keep things light. And then I feel under the water.
No.
I feel on my upper thigh a toe, a hairy late 50-year-old toe.
No.
Stroke me up and down with his big toe, a stroke to my upper thigh. I had Forrest in my arms.
Stop.
And a look at me. And then that was it. I was like, I've got to change his nappy. And I pop out and I was like, Mark, aren't we meeting Chris? We're supposed to meet Chris for dinner. Like, we're going to be late. They could tell for sure we were like, retreat.
Oh.
So I grab our stuff so quickly and I'm like, and Mark is obviously picking up the cues as well, like something had happened. And so he jumps up out of the jacuzzi. We're grabbing our stuff. And then the woman says, thank you so much. We're still trying to be polite because we know that they're quite a prolific family at the green school. We're still trying to be polite, but I was like needing to make this very clear. And she had been saying to Mark, like on Sundays, like all the women come here and we don't wear clothes. She was like, we just have spa day. We just walk around naked. It's like, they come, the local Indonesian women of the community here, they come and massage us all and we just walk around. It's a bit free love. It's a bit naked. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be a bit naked with either of you guys ever in my life. And we say goodbye. And I'm sort of just pretending I'm very distracted with the children, like, oh, okay, bye. And she kisses Mark on the lips.
No, she does not.
Yeah, she does. He goes to give her a hug and she goes in and she kisses him on the lips. And she's like, that's how we say bye here in Indonesia.
No, she did not.
And I was like, and we get out of there and we are like screaming, running, laughing. What the fuck? Like we're going so nuts.
Did you tell him about the toe?
I told him about the toe. I told him everything.
Say?
I was like, we need to leave. We're getting out of Bali. I can't believe we just got hit on by this couple. And Mark was like screaming. He was like, she open mouth tried to kiss me. And I was like, I know.
In front of everyone.
In front of me. Like to be like, this is what we do here. This is like the culture. And I was like, I'm not, by the way, it's not the culture. It's not, I was like, okay. So then I find out later because I go straight to my friends and I'm like, oh my God, the craziest thing. And there were a couple of other people in the group who were like, oh my God, like they're synonymous with that. Like that's their thing. And there's a whole group of parents who are swingers with this couple and they're the leaders of the swingers group at the school.
Oh my God.
And there's a whole group of people who do come over on those Sundays and it's like the doctor guy, like fucks all these women and they have these like, yes. It was the most insane thing. And then they added us on a WhatsApp thread.
No.
Yep.
After you guys bailed from the toe and the kiss?
We bailed from the kiss and the stroke. We bailed.
You were pregnant and you were holding a 2-year-old.
And I was holding a 2-year-old.
He was like stroking you with his giant hairy toe.
It was the most, and by the way, like, no offense, but he was so not attractive in any way. The fact that he was like an overweight man, like really hairy,
too.
Overweight in his 50s, but because he was like successful doctor guy, I guess he just thought that women are like, he's hot. I want to go there. Like, I don't know where. Was
his wife that was like open-bodied over the elephants, was she hot?
Nope.
Did she have a hot body? 80 photos of you naked.
No, not my version of a hot body. I mean,
wow.
All female forms are beautiful, but
your version of hot.
Not hot. I just was like, the fact that they thought that Mark and I would be like, yeah, I'm down with this. Like, let's fucking do this.
Where did they pick it? I guess maybe the thing is they throw it out to like any new person that's there. Because apparently and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently the upside down pineapple is the symbol of like swingers.
Babe, I just told that crazy story, the Bali story where the guy like stroked the toe and the woman kissed you on the mouth. Remember the swingers?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And then what was the name of the text thread? They add us on a text thread and then it's like kindred, cosmic, soulmates. They like named it something so fucking weird. And Mark and I would...
kindred spirit.
Like kindred spirits or something. Anyway, so then what we started to do was we actually had a bit of fun with it. Where on the text threads,
Oh my God.
we would sort of egg them on a little bit.
Oh my God.
And then my friends would be like, write this back, write that back. Anyway, it was
Can't
so.
believe you told that story. Hi, Sarah.
I love you.
We ended up
God.
leaving Bali like about maybe 3 weeks later because I was pregnant. And Mark was like, we are going to get bitten by a mosquito and our baby's going to have a tiny head. And I was like, I don't think that's what's going to happen.
You also had spiders the size of like small cats there
and a rat.
Everywhere.
A rat fell from the roof into our kitchen.
Stop.
Onto our kitchen bench. And Mark was like, I'm out. And then also we had that crazy earthquake, which actually killed like 1,500 plus people and the whole house was shaking.
I remember that something keeps flying. It's not lice, you guys, but something keeps touching my head. It's like a moth or something. Anyway, I remember you sending me pictures and videos of these giant spiders. And I was like, cool, I'm never going to that place.
Like
ever.
that's never
I'm never going to go there.
happening. Ever.
Not ever going to a place with spiders that big. That's like that's an animal. You could put a leash on it.
I wonder where this couple are now. Are they still at the green school?
For
Are they
sure.
still having mass orgies? Are they still
Definitely.
trying to rope in all the newbies, the unsuspecting newbies?
Unless the green school got some sort of like a intimacy coordinator. Maybe there's like
around with his foam pad.
Maybe there's like
who wants to do
a
it with
nudity
me?
writer. I used to go into like any job that I was doing, and I'd have my lawyer draw up a nudity writer just to put it, and they would be like, "You don't even have like a scene," and I'm
There's
like,
no
"You know
scene
what?
here.
Guess what? I don't care. Somebody's gonna write a scene later and spring it on me, and
Bring it on me.
No. It's not how these boobies are not being seen. No.
They're amazing boobies. I've seen them.
Thank you. Nowadays they're a bit different, but whatever.
hot,
Back in the day, they were so
Our stretched out
cute.
nipples.
Those stretched out nipple. Now, oh my God, my kids the other day were like, "Why are your nipples so dark?" And I was like,
That's what Forrest just said to me.
and I was like, you know what? I always kind of forget, but in pregnancy,
It's for the baby to see.
yeah, they get
baby can see
darker,
the
and then
nipple.
they lighten up
Yeah.
again. But like they get darker for the newborns.
Mine are really dark already.
Me
And I'm only
too.
22 weeks. Yeah.
Well,
Forrest was like, why do they look like that? They look so different. I was like, I know. And he's like,
you're like, what?
Really? They're almost
Yeah.
brown. I was like, cool. Yeah. Yes, they are. Do you want to start talking about my bum again? Or do you want to comment on anything else?
I just went in for a stress test, and
Yes.
I have to do a few of them before I give birth because I'm over 40 and whatever, they suggested it, and I'm like, it's fine. It's
Why not?
Why not? And so they put the thing on you. So they put like a thing on you to like check the baby's heartbeat, and then they put the thing on you to check contractions. And I'm still like 4 weeks out, right, from when the due date is. But it's interesting because what they're trying to see is that when baby moves around and when baby moves around and the heartbeat like goes up, they want to see it jolt up, and then they want to see it come back down again, and seeing that the baby can like handle stress or whatever, I think. And so it's also like, you know, if your fluid drops a little bit later, and when you're older, apparently your fluid can drop. It just makes it harder for baby to like move around and do the things they need to do and have the space. So my suggestion to anyone out there who's going in for a stress test, bring a little container of snacks. I brought dates the second time. First time I didn't, and I'll tell you what happened. I brought dates and peanut butter, some like, some like crackers and cheese. And I brought like a little juice box and, some really cold water. And then the baby totally like wakes up and just like moves around because I'm eating and like, it all goes great. The first time I went in, the baby was like so chill and sleeping. and not interested in moving around. And so they were like, here, we'll give you some ice water. And they were like, have you ever seen this thing before? And they held up this thing that looks like a thermometer. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And they were like, oh, it just makes a little buzz. I'll show you on your hand, right? And then it'll help like get baby going. And I was like, okay. And they like put it onto my belly, did the buzz. Literally the baby went just like
the Moro reflex.
Like as if you had come in and went boo really loud, you know? And I was like, whoa, what just happened? I was like, that was not cool. And she was like, oh, it's okay. It's just like it's like a sound frequency. It just breaks through the like amniotic fluid, and it's just like really loud for them. So it like jolts them and gets their heart rate going. And I was like,
you're like, this has
no, I don't want that. Don't ever do that again. I talked to my doctor about it later because she, my doctor wasn't there. And she was like, why did they use that on you? She was like, yes, I've heard of this. That office really likes that contraption. She was like, but they only tried ice water. They should have given you like time. Like you should have had juice. Like, I remember in the past I've done stress tests and they've given you juice and then it just kind of like gets baby going. Right. And so I was like, I don't know. I was like, but I'm like going to make a mission to be like, no, absolutely
never
not.
Again.
Don't let anyone do that to you. I did not like the way it felt. It was like so shocking. She was like, she's like, imagine a frat boy at college who comes up and he's wasted and he's just like, boo, like scares you from behind. She goes, that is what it does to baby. And I was like, what? Why? Why would anyone do that?
This peaceful little baby's having its sleep. And it's like, we would never do that when they're outside of the womb.
No, ever.
And you think about their little tiny little ears and tiny little like, it's just awful.
Like, the girl was so like nonchalant with it. Like it was like nothing. I was like, you really have to safeguard everything. And even us, we like know so much stuff about it. We've had so many kids. And yeah, I've never seen this thing before. I had no idea.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I went to my doctor and was like, so when I do stress tests, like she had this thing that happened, like, will I have to have that? And they're like, we don't do stress tests in Australia,
really,
but which was so like random. But I was like, that doesn't, I mean, obviously it's safe, but it's violent. It feels violent.
I didn't like it. I did not like it. Yeah. We didn't like that. Poor baby. I know. I felt so bad for baby.
No more. Mama's going to advocate for baby and say, But there'll be a lot of first-time mums out there who are told, this is something we have to do.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't listen to them. Don't do that. Go eat.
You have a say.
Eat some snacks and have a little peanut butter, have some dates. They were saying like, you could have some candy. I'm like, well, how about just like something else that's, a normal like watermelon instead of offering candy? Like, I don't need to eat candy.
Speaking of candy, you're going to get a little shipment of Loco Love from Loco Love.
Oh my gosh.
Because I said that you're a big fan.
Such a big fan. The like cookie one and the caramel one. Oh
yeah, so she was like the girl that I was speaking to.
You sent me that girl's stuff. She's like the chicest girl on the planet.
She says she's about to have a baby. She's probably having a baby right now.
She looks so chic.
So cool. She's having her first baby. And I met her at the Harper's Bazaar. I know. I met her at the Harper's Bazaar luncheon, but she represents Loco Love. And then I was like, wait, my friend had the best reaction to Loco Love. Like, this is her Instagram. She's pregnant. And she was like, oh my God. She's like, I am sending her whatever she wants. I was like, yes.
It's so good, everybody.
So good. Give me chocolate.
Guys, this has been a wild ride. We've really taken you on a We've taken you on a journey today.
I'm still laughing at Blubber.
I can't. Blubber and the toe, the hairy toe.
The hairy toe. The stroking of the hairy toe. I'm going to try and find a picture, Sarah, of this person.
Please send it to me. Please do. Yeah. I will die. It's the best. Okay, you guys. Well, we'll see you back here next week. And we love you, daisies. And
love you.
The countdown is on, y'all.
I know.
We're doing it.
We got a month. We got a month. And then
So
what do we
exciting.
do? Then you're going to be in labor. I might do a solo where it's just me.
Well, I was thinking it might be really fun to just bring my computer to bed. I won't have my equipment, but I'll just have my computer in bed, and then we can do like an episode talking about what happened.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So fun, because I'm not leaving my bed for a little while.
Let's do one before we go. Let's just do one little belly show for people watching on YouTube.
Okay.
Let's just lift up our bellies.
Wait, I want to move my mic out of the way. Yeah, oh, wait, mine doesn't even fit in the screen.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
hold on.
I really want to take a photo. Okay, you take a picture.
Oh my God, I can't. It's so cute. Wait, what? Mine's
How
like
come mine is almost the same size as
Mine's
yours?
like pointing down.
Yeah, it is, because that baby is
like,
down. Ready for its exit.
A slide. My belly button is like going to be like this by the end of it.
Oh my God. I love it. All right, you guys, you've been listening to The Mother Daze. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. That's usually Sarah's job, that one.
Yup. Bye.
Bye, daisies.